windy escalators, cozy tea houses, and blood running down the streets at Christmas were just a few of the things that I'd gotten used to in Prague and had to readjust to living without here in Munich. Hey everyone, I'm Dana and you're watching Wanted Adventure Living Abroad. As I mentioned in the video on my 5 emotional stages of moving abroad, when I first packed everything up and bought a one-way ticket to Europe, I moved to Prague in the Czech Republic. It wasn't until a year after that I finally moved to Munich. And when I did move to Munich, there were a lot of little and big differences that I noticed right off the bat. So let's look at some of these differences today. The first thing that struck me right away was the public transportation, which I used pretty much every day in both cities. As someone coming from Cars Are King, Florida, I had never really used public transportation before moving to Prague. And I would say it was a pretty good city to start out in because it's just got 3 lines on the underground, red, green, and yellow. And the tickets are super simple too. They're just bought by time. You need 30 minutes on the public transportation? There you go, ticket for 30 minutes. Need an hour? Buy an hour. No zones, no stripes, no worry about which direction you're going. It's just time. In Munich, not so much. I won't go into the intricacies of the Munich public transportation system in this video, but I'll just say it's a little bit more tricky than red, green, and yellow. And something else about the Prague Underground, it's super windy. I know it's windy here in Munich when you're standing on the platform and the train pulls up, but in Prague, first of all, the escalators move really quickly. I couldn't believe how slow and relaxed the escalators were when I first came to Munich. The escalators in Prague are just really fast and the wind gusts up the shafts like I have never seen in Munich. Something I really missed when I moved from Prague to Munich were the super cozy tea houses. Called čajovny in Czech, these tea houses are all over the city and they play relaxing music, offer all kinds of little cozy places to sit with lots of pillows, and you can drink teas from all around the world and smoke shisha. It's just such a calm, relaxing environment. Quieter and more relaxed than a cafe. Probably because a lot of the people in there are stoned too. That's another difference that I quickly noticed. Pot is not legal in Prague, but it was readily available almost everywhere and didn't really seem to be all that taboo. Another thing that I really missed about Prague was the river running through the city, which I just found so lovely and peaceful. And I loved the half-circle hill around the city. I would go up to the top of the hill and gaze down upon the whole city. I can use maps to get wherever I'm trying to go, but they don't really help me to visualize the city as a whole, and having that full view of Prague really made me feel like I understood the city as a big picture rather than just as an ant down crawling around the city. There was also a very different feel in Prague than in Munich that I noticed. Munich is this super clean, very bright city, whereas Prague has a bit of a grunge feel to it. There's definitely more graffiti around Prague. I hardly ever see graffiti in Munich. And 6 years ago when I lived there was a lot of stray dog poop that you had to watch out for as you walked around. I was shocked though, pleasantly shocked. We went back to Prague a few weeks ago and there was actually someone going around vacuuming up the dog poop from the sidewalks. So I'm sorry I couldn't get you photo evidence of the dog poop, but 6 years ago when I moved to Munich, I can tell you that I was quite happy not to have to worry about dodging those poop piles anymore. And as far as grunge goes, during Christmas time, these carp stands pop up all along the sides of the streets and people come to buy live carp. I guess some people actually take the carp home alive and put it in their bathtubs until Christmas, but a lot of people have the guys at the carp stands whack the heads off right there, and what happens to the blood? Well, it just kind of runs down the streets. Yummy. Really makes you want fish, right? Another big difference that I noticed right away when I moved to Munich was, what? The stores are closed on Sunday? All of them? Really? and on the days that they're open, they close at 8 p.m.? This is still something that I haven't quite gotten used to. I always realize that I'm craving something at 8:01. No! It's too late. But I did prefer paying with euros here in Munich, which is really weird because my American dollars went much farther in Prague. But even after a year in the Czech Republic, I still had not gotten used to the larger denominations. I would go to buy something at the grocery store and I would start to sweat at the thought of spending 700 crowns. Oh my God, 700? That's so much, right? Then I would do the math and calm down. It's just $30. But still, I never really totally got used to it. Making out in public, also known as PDA, public display of affection, is something else totally common in Prague that I didn't really see so much of here in Munich. Living in Prague, I had pretty much gotten used to seeing couples really going at it, just with their tongues down each other's throats, on the sidewalks, on those fast-moving escalators, in the trams, in the cafes, everywhere. And making out isn't the only thing that people in Prague didn't seem to mind doing anywhere and everywhere. Peeing was another one. Now, I definitely think that people pee outside in Munich much more often than they do in the US. But of course, that's not very hard to do because in the US, public urination, as it's called, is a big cultural no-no that is actually illegal and really upsets some people. So if you're caught doing it, you can get a fine or even go to jail. But I think a fine is usually more common. But anyway, public peeing in Munich is nothing compared to Prague, where I saw lots of people, and of course with people I mean men, peeing just out on the sidewalk in broad daylight. No big deal. In the Czech Republic, it was just like, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And something that I noticed that was pretty similar in Munich and Prague was people's comfort with nudity. I've talked about this before in my sauna and nude in Munich videos. People here and in the Czech Republic just don't seem to have the same hang up with the nude body as people do in the US. And I have to say that I kind of agree. It's our body. What in the world could be more natural than that? I think everyone just needs to take a deep breath and chill. There are bigger issues in the world than a little nipple exposure. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to show you mine. Just putting that out there. So my question for you is, what is your favorite thing about the place where you live now? Where do you live, of course? And what's the number one thing you think you would miss if you move somewhere else? Please let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. And for more fun stuff, you can check me out over here on my Twitter and my Facebook page. Until next time, auf Wiedersehen. Peeing was the one. Yeah. What is your favorite thing about why can't I say anything today? Take 5. It wasn't until a year after that that I finally moved to Europe, Munich, and smoke hookah. It's just such a... Sorry, I hit the mic.
Blood?
Yeah, blood.
Oh, okay.